Alright, so here we are. Sorry, just dazed out for 2 seconds. So we got your dog. Let's see, where's your XGen for a group? Here it is here, face. And so I'm just going to go into the XGen description here. Okay, so we got the face and we got the body. First of all, I think the fur looks pretty good. I'm almost wondering if it needs to be smoothed just a bit. I see there's some areas where it's just a little bit uneven. But you know what? Not for this. Don't worry about it. But in the future, you know what you might want to do is just go in and to see that, let me apply the physical hair shader. I'm sure it's here somewhere, or not. Where is the physical hair shader? There you are. Let me just go in and freeze this here. Oh, you know why? Sorry. Yeah, it's because of the geometry. So I'm just going to go in and what material is on there right now? What is a Lambert? Maybe it's my paint settings. Huh, weird. Yeah, I'm just not seeing any kind of freeze. I mean, I see there's a freeze here, so it's working. It's just that I'm not painting any freeze. Weird, huh? Well, you know why? Because I'm not on your thing, that's why. See, that's what happens when you're just waking up. That's what happens when you're literally just waking up. Alright, so let me see here. Just make sure this is on. And freeze. There we are. That's what I want to see. Alright, and we just paint this away, so it's control. And then I'm going to invert my freeze. Invert, freeze, and I'm just going to paint. So let me just brush this because I just feel like it's a little bit scraggly, right? So just gonna, and I got some stuff here by accident, so I'm just gonna freeze this up. And brush. Alright, so I hope you're not using, well, you got collisions, but I hope you're not using it. We could probably deactivate it once we got everything kind of brushed in place, because you know, it will kind of slow things down a bit. We just need it for the combing, right? Because we don't have any dynamics on the hair. Looks a little bit better. Just want to puff it up just a bit. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Alright, so it's a bit more matching the other side. Alright, so let me just unfreeze. And I'm just going to save that. There's some patchy stuff in through here. So you can just go in and freeze areas if you want to. Just go freeze some areas. And then I can go in and then rebrush some of this stuff here. where it's a little bit more patchy than it needs to be, maybe. So let me just go and invert that. Go back to my brush. And I'm just going to see if I can brush over this just a little bit more. And let me just kind of puff it out just a bit. Now, if things are just a little bit too overlappy like they are here, part of it's probably your hair is too long, right? But so it's not ideal like this stuff in through here where it's really long and it's kind of interweaving through here. But again, don't worry about this right now because we're under the gun. I'm just going to go into the smooth brush. And let's see if we can kind of smooth some of this out just a bit. There we go. Just kind of smoothing it out. I don't want bald spots. So smooth it out, but don't get bald spots. There we go, looks a little bit better. I got rid of some of those, the intertwining bits. And just very lightly kind of going over it with these settings. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the freeze. Unfreeze all. So a little bit better. I'm gonna go unfreeze all. Again, back over to my smooth brush. I'm just gonna smooth out some of this stuff here, just so it looks a little bit less patchy and stuff. Right, I think that's looking a little bit better. Gotta be careful with what I'm doing. I wonder why this is so patchy on the back. Is it because of clumping? I don't know what's going on there. I'm just gonna use my brush and push it out from the... There we go. I just don't want patchy bits. A little bit better. And the tail's got some weird patchy bits here too, right? So we need to definitely freeze that. I'm gonna save. So it's really tricky to get under there. I would have done this as a separate hair, to be honest, but you know, not now. Don't keep it exactly the way you've done it. You know, we're under the gun. Don't restart any of this stuff. Don't even do what I'm doing. But in the future, like if you're gonna re-render this for the industry day, or for there's gonna be like a bit of a showcase in April, at the end of April. You know, it would be nice to maybe get it a little bit better looking, maybe. So again, I'm gonna invert the selection, which I lost my freeze. Yeah, when this happens, I gotta restart the, yeah, it's just not loading up now. That's okay. There is an option here, if I go in, I can invert the frozen effect, right? So it'll let me kind of do the opposite. Let's see, am I able to get something good? So this is where I want to turn collisions off. So I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to restart my... Alright, so I think I'm back. I'm just loading it up. I think it's all coming in. There we go. Now we're back in business. So let's see if I double click on you. That's what I want to see. So invert frozen. Oh yeah, I guess I need to be on the layer and everything. Let's see. Invert frozen's off. Yeah, so you can see it's kind of messing up, right? Like, especially, it's the collision surface that's doing this. So if I deactivate that, let's see what happens. There we go. So we're going to get a little bit of a better result. Sometimes it just doesn't work with that collision. You know, it's good for some things, but we're going to just turn it off. I'll just speed up things a bit. And what I want to do is I want to get it not going through itself on the bottom here. So this is where maybe the smooth might come in handy. I'm going to go global smooth. Yeah, so that doesn't work good, but let's see, smooth orientation. Kind of works okay. But it's just like this weird. If you don't see it, don't worry about it though. Don't even worry about what I'm doing. Right? Because at the end of the day, you know, we don't even see this. I'm going to go over to my move brush though. I'm just going to pull stuff out this way. There we go. Alright, so now we should be good. Alright, so I'm pretty good with how this is looking now. Alright, so let me just fix that up a bit. So I got rid of those weird patches and stuff. I got this guy here, so let me just unfreeze all. I'm just going to freeze just this guy. If I can get it, not this stuff over here. Invert frozen, and I'm just going to move this stuff. With the brush, I guess. If it lets me. There we go. This big brush. Good. So something horrible happened down here and on the feet. So it's probably from when I was doing the smoothing. Okay, here, I'm just going to pause this. You don't need to see this, I guess, right? I'm just going to fix this up a bit. Here, let me just go into this, unfreeze all. Just going to freeze over this area here. And I'm going to get this stuff. I think that's just stuff going through. Alright. And let's see if I can move that around. And then brush. I'll try smoothing that one more time after I brush this out just a bit. Okay, let's see here. So let's see what happens when I smooth. I was doing that thing again. Gotta love it. You gotta love it. And it's not quite working. Bit of a ball patch there too. That's the one thing I have to say about the other XGen is that the smoothing brush is a lot better. But, you know, actually this isn't too bad. It's not too bad, it's just, I don't know if, I think I must have done that too. Alright, so it's starting to look okay. You know, this is weird, balding and stuff, but there's not much we can do about it without recombing. Alright. Just be careful when you're moving stuff around. Tricky, right? I'm not getting this all good. Because we can't have it just all intersecting and stuff and gross. So I think this will be a little tiny bit better. Trying to puff it out just a bit. So every time I do one thing, it just kind of does another thing. Just gotta be careful. Let me just try to smooth over this area here. I don't even know what my smooth settings are because I can't open the dialog box for it. Okay, alright, I'm gonna go with that. For the most part, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna comb it just a little bit. Just very gently. And again, I must have done something down here. One step forward, two steps backwards, as they say. I think it must be my move settings too. I must have it on projection. As it keeps messing stuff up. Keeping things symmetrical as much as possible would make it a bit easier, right? Because then I could just do one side. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like so for now. You know, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. We don't even see the feet, so it doesn't matter so much. Let's see if I can just smooth this one more time. I wish I could open the box here. Okay, so I think that's going to be as good as I'm going to get it right now because it's early and I still need to have more coffee. So let's see here. it's going to be as good as it's getting. Okay, now what? Well, first of all, I'm going to save. I'm going to save. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with this hair here on the top of his head. Just going to go around the body here. A bit more shaggy. Alright, I'm going to save. Alright, it was a bit of a long walk. I don't know if we're any better, but I'm going to save. Okay, next thing we're going to do is this. I'm going to go in, and I don't know if activating is going to be a good idea, but I'm going to turn that back on. We should probably just leave that off, to be honest. Alright. I'm going to save. And then what we're going to do is this. We're going to go into the description. Under descriptions, we can export a preset. So not cache, we're going to export a preset. And we're going to give it a name and a location, file location, so make sure you're choosing something in your Maya project. So I'm going to have to navigate over there. Okay. And just give it a name, dog body. This is all good, and then export. Right? And I'm going to do the same thing for the face. So select your description, go export, and then we're going to call this one dog face. And we're going to export that. Okay, next thing we're going to do is delete your XGen, and we're going to save a clean version of this because we're going to have to re-import this into our file. So we're going to have a clean version. We'll take your fur group and delete it. Right. I think I saved it before doing this, so if it does crash, I might have to do it again. But all right, so I think it's crashing. I'm just going to pause for 1 second. Alright, so I might have crashed. I'm just going to reopen it, so I'll just give it a second. Alright, so it's opening up. So I exported. I don't have to re-export it. The fur, I already did that. But what I need to do is delete the fur group from my Maya scene. So you got your fur group. I'm just going to do it one at a time. I'm going to select the dog body, hit delete. I'm going to select the face description, hit delete. And I'm going to save this, get rid of that group, we don't need it. It's just going to float in here, don't regroup it once we do this. We're going to save as micro dog, and then we're going to get rid of the word fur. And we're just going to call it clean. And that's what you're going to import into. You're going to re-reference the clean version into your scene. Alright, so what we're going to do, and I just want to test it here before we go into the actual scene file, is if we go into your XGen, what we can do is we can import the description. Right? So we import it. Because the UVs are exactly the same, I would just try UV based first. And then we want to use original orientation. And then we want to make sure you're choosing the right path. So you could just use the default when you export this out. Maybe it might make it easier. But I'm going to navigate to where I saved it. So Sheridan, Soon Help, Microdog, XGen. Where is it? It should be in here. I don't see it anywhere. Alright. Well, that's a problem. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to open it up, the not clean version. We got a clean version, that's fine. So I'm going to open up the not clean version. I'm going to re-export out that stuff one more time. I'm just going to use the default path this time. Right? And again, we're just going to working through this together. So again, I'm going to select, you have to do one at a time. So dog body, we're going to export that. All right, I'm just going to use this. Default, no, I'm not going to call it default, I'm going to call it dog body. Export. Okay, what's the error I'm getting here? Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, I'm all right. I'm conflicted here because I need to export this stuff out. Because I feel like we did it right the first time. Here, let's just go over to our Sheridan 2023. Student help, microdog, XGen. File name, dog, body, save. Alright, yeah, we're going to export it. Alright, well that's good. It looks like it exported. Yeah, I didn't really notice that we got anything like that last time, so let's try this again. So, export. And this one we're going to call, well there it is, I see it this time. Right, before it wasn't there. So this time we're going to call it dog face. Dog face. Alright, and save. Export. Alright, so it's doing something. Alright, let's go back over to our clean file. Just make sure this works. So open scene. Dog clean. Select my geometry. I'm going to go descriptions, import. And we're going to navigate over to, oh here it is, right? It came in right away as soon as I clicked on it. Dog body. UV based. Use original and import. Perfect. Look, it's exactly what we want, right? Let's try the dog face. Make sure this works. So I'm going to select the face. Import. UV based. Now, did I select the face or did I select the body? I selected the body. Yeah. Make sure you select the face for the face. So let's try this again. Did I export the face twice? Maybe. I don't know. That's my brain is still waking up. So import, UV based, use original orientation, dog face. Here we are. Perfect. It works. Alright, so what we're going to be doing now is going into your reference file. We're going to replace your reference with the clean version. We're going to save it. We're going to reopen it. So it's just, there's no weird connections. And then what we're going to do is load in, exactly like what we just did, the XGen into the scene file, right? We might need to import from reference though, right? Because right now it's reference, we might need to import from reference. So I'm hoping like everything's good to go with that, but let's find out. So I'm going to open scene. We're going to go into the scene file. Don't save. Robot dog rig. Do I need that? I'm going to skip. Alright, so we can clearly see this is all messed up. So I'm going to go into my reference editor. Alright, so microdog. I'm going to replace the reference. I'm going to save it and reopen it. So microdog. Sorry, my brain is waking. Replace reference. Up. My brain's waking up. Here we are. Clean file. Reference. Alright, this is what we want. So I'm going to save this. Increment and save. I'm going to open it again. Open scene. I'm gonna do two versions. Before I save, I also want to do this. I want to go to my reference editor, and we're gonna import from reference. So right click, file, import from reference. Right. So now this is actually directly in our scene file. The reason why I'm doing that, because I'm not 100% convinced the reference geometry is going to work with what we're doing. It might, but you know, this definitely will work. I'm pretty sure. It's coming back to me from 2 years ago. Last time we had some XGen going on. All right, so I'm going to go in and go new open scene. All right, cancel. I'm going to save this as a new version. Let me just give it a new name here. So this one is. A lot of stuff going on. Try to avoid some of that. Imported. Let's call it imported. All right. All right. So let's try this out. So file, open scene. So there's the imported, and then there's just this one. So skip. And what I want to do is select it. And then we want to do the exact same thing. So descriptions, import, UV based, original orientation. And yeah, we can't do that though, because it's not. So this is why you want to put it at origin. We're gonna have to do this one, I think. All right, so let's see if this makes a difference. Cancel. I'm gonna cancel. What I'm gonna do actually is this. I'm gonna go to your skin cluster. I'm going to turn off the envelope. Right, that's the orientation in world space. Right, and I'll do the same thing for the face. Once it's on there, we can turn it back on again. Right. All right. So now we should be okay. What did I just do? I just went. There we are. Alright, so what we're going to do is this. We're going to select the body, same process as before, right? So this is the reference one. So descriptions, preset, import, UV base, position. Oh, I think I just grabbed the face. Ah, stupid me. Okay, where did that come in? Alright, let me just undo that. Select that, delete it. Alright. Don't undo actually, just select it, delete it. So I'm gonna import body. Here we go. This is the right one this time. Oh yeah, okay. Make sure you select your import. Alright. Alright, I think it's working. I think maybe we just had some not good stuff down here, maybe. Right? Maybe that was just like that. Now, don't forget, you can always just touch it up if you need to. Right? I can always just go in and touch it up just a bit. I can even re-export it one more time. Right. Because if everything else is kind of there, then I'm just going to go with it. And still, maybe that was like that. I don't know. I thought I fixed that, but alright. So just a little bit of a touch-up. All right, but everything else looks like it's exactly the way I had it. Like that's going on the ears. Everything looks pretty good for the most part. And just move some stuff around a bit. All right. Cool. All right, you're good. You can always export it as a new body if you need to. All right. I'm going to do that actually. So export. Let's save the scene. Export. I'm going to call it body 2. thought I had a description selected. There we are, but I don't. There we go. Export. Yeah, it's doing it. And let's try importing the face. Maybe we'll have better luck with the face. So select description, export, import. So I'm importing the face first. So UV based. All right, that looks like it worked, right? This one, for the most part, looks like it worked. Now, unless that's incorrect, right? If it is, then we just have to do a little bit of a fix on that too. So maybe just a very light smooth. If I just want to make sure sculpting's on for that. Let's see. Why won't you open? That happens sometimes, because this is not the smooth brush, but can't really smooth that, but I'll just do this then. Just move this out just a bit, right? Or comb it, or whatever I need to do, but it looks like it worked for the most part. Well, maybe a little bit of a light smoothing. Cool. All right, so it looks like it kind of worked. So I'm going to go in now and do this. I did want to talk about the render settings for this, because I'm thinking we want to use the redshift fur probably. And we might want to thin these up and then add more density, but anyhow, we'll check that out after. Let's just make sure this works first. Okay, so I'm going to go in and export this description out one more time. So description, this is the face description. Export. Sure to save. And we'll call this one dog face too. Sounds like a movie. Export. Alright, so I think it did it. Okay, so now what we want to do is, well, we saved already. I'm going to increment and save. I'm going to turn on the skin clusters again for these guys. Alright, so let's go in here. And there we are. So I don't have to reopen. It's getting a little bit slow. So it gets slow, just reopen. Because, yeah. Okay, I'm going to pause. I'm going to reopen this. Alright, I relaunched Maya. It's just reopening. So let's see here. So it should be. So again, don't struggle through if things aren't updating. Just close Maya, reopen it. And in the end, it's going to be faster, even though it might feel like it's slower because you have to wait for Maya to open and stuff. But having the interactivity is really essential. So I'm going to skip the. There we are. Sorry, I had a pop-up window on my other monitor I didn't notice, which was the reference for the robot rig. All right. Well, the good news is that it looks exactly the same as where I left it, right? So that's positive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the mesh. So I'm going to select the head first, go into the skin cluster, turn the envelope back on, and I'm going to select the body, go into the skin cluster, and turn the envelope back on. All right. That all looks good. So what we need to do now is cache it. So once it's cached, then it should be good. No, remember, we want to do the caching once all the animation is perfectly finished. So I'm not sure where your animation is. You might want to give us, send us some stuff just to make sure you get approvals on everything. But let me see here. I'm doing something. Yes, I'm going into here. And we just have to do one at a time. And we'll do the body first. We're going to go cache, create new cache, And then this is going to give us a scene. This is going to create an Alembic cache. Create a new folder. I'm going to call it XGen cache. And time sliders, just make sure it's the length of your project. And yeah, okay, let's cache it. Give it a name. So I'll call it dog body. Right, and it's going to go through and then lock everything in place. And then we have to cache the face. But good news, it looks like it's sticking. All right, that's what we want. We want to make sure it's sticking. Now you will have to reapply your shader because I removed it. Right, so we're gonna have to put a new shader on it. I think we want to use the hair shader anyway, but anyhow, we'll figure that out. And once that's done, we're going to cache the face. Now for the the end cloth version, you have to do the same process, right? So just make sure you're doing the same process, but let's do the face cache now. So cache. We're going to call it dog face. Okay, and that looks like it's working. So I'm just going to text you while this is happening. All right, so it cached out. Now what I want to do is open the file again and make sure it's all good. But I think it's going to be good. All right, so in terms of rendering, so I don't have your shaders or anything in here, right? So I'm just going to go back over to the original file. So let me just pause. So I'm back in the original file. Yeah, I can see, you know what? It exported exactly right because I can see there's some bald spots here. So it's just stuff I missed, I guess, when we were brushing and things. So I'm going to throw on a shader here. So dog body, let me just throw on a Redshift fur shader. And which is this one. We're not going to be able to see it in the viewport, and then also on the face I'm going to throw on the fur. I'm going to create a light just so I can see what's happening. And I just want to do a little bit of some testing with this in terms of fur thickness and all of that, because I feel like it could be maybe just a little bit more refined, perhaps. You know, devil's in the details. You know, there's always problems. And I shouldn't say problems, but there's always going to be improvements all the way up to the very end, which is, you know, in the future. That's why you want to get ahead sooner. Not to say that you didn't, but you know, looking at the capstone, because if you can get things done a little bit sooner, then that gives you time to keep refining and refining and refining. And you know, that's kind of where the difference between student and professional work is. Professional work, you know, you get it done quite quickly, but then why it looks so good is because then you're just constantly refining it, you know, for weeks sometimes. And Alright, so I was going to go and do something. I'm just reopening the scene file. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm opening a HDRI light. Let me grab something that's a bit cleaner. I'm going to grab this kitchen light. I have a Montreal selection I bought a while ago, which is pretty good. Let me see. Bathroom, kitchen. Yeah, is that the kitchen? There's a couple ones here. Uh-oh. That can't be good. The loft. Yeah, this one's a little bit brighter. I'm going to go with the loft. Okay, and I'm just going to do an IPR. And why is this so big? Settings. Yeah, when you're test lighting, you know, go with whatever the lowest settings are, right? Don't go with the highest settings. That's better. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start changing some stuff. So we're in here. Alright, so I'm going to go in. And your width scale, I'm going to start by dialing that down quite a bit. There we go. Yeah, something a little bit more like that. Now you're probably thinking, well, that looks horrible. And you know, you're kind of right. It's not looking so good. But what we're going to do is we're going to add more density to this. And it should give us something a little bit better. Now the feet, you know, I think I exported out the body too. So this is where the awesomeness of XGen comes in, right? Because if I delete this body, select this, and go over to my XGen window and bring in the body 2 where I updated the feet, I should just be able to replace it, right? So description, preset import, right? And if I just import the body 2, I guess I didn't export the face 2, I thought I did. Open. There we go. Alright, so now the feet are fixed. And then I can just reapply that hair 1. There we are. Back over to our rendering. I might want to stop that and just restart it again. Anyhow, I'd probably want to reopen it, so I'm just going to pause one more time. Anyhow, I'm going to actually end it here. So this is part 1. Just because I have to actually put the dishes away before my wife comes back. But I'll do part 2 right afterwards, which will be a little bit more looked at for the final look of this. So we'll get this working first, and then we'll talk about the other stuff after. So I'm going to stop.